preps to pros and everything in between. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yow.
Welcome into this Tuesday edition of Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, coming to you from the Lee Company studio. Glad to have you with us here on a beautiful day outside. The forecast has been less than perfect, but the outcome of each day hasn't been so bad. So excited as I look out the window and see the sunshine in. Welcome in. WKOM 1017 FM. Front Porch Sports. WZYX 94.5 The Eagle. Glad to have you all with us. Mo, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good for a Tuesday. I'm good.
It is Tuesday, right? JP? We have to ask him. He doesn't know.
Well, we probably need to trust but verify if we're asking JP. No. We had a productive Tuesday before we came in here.
It really was a good day. We got a chance to get out to Summertown and Mount Pleasant, where you can pick up some SM-TN Sports The Mag.
Times two, actually, because you can pick up the Fall Sports Preview, and you can also pick up the All-Star Mag from last.
You can get it at Schaefer's in Summertown and Summertown High School. You can pick one up if you are in Mount Pleasant.
At City Hall, or at the high school, or at the barber shop across from Mount Pleasant Grill. Did you get the name of it?
No, but I just left some like hoping that people would just, pick it up, read it, and leave it. We'll see what happens. Maybe we go back and
did you tell them to call us if they run out?
No, it's not. I'm pretty sure the barber said something under his breath when I walked in, and I'm like, okay, because the guy in the chair started laughing, and I thought,
oh, we wasn't selling nothing.
Just want to leave some magazines in case you guys, get tired of reading other stuff. So whatever. But yeah, you can pick it up in Mount Pleasant, and we will get to other communities here very soon. Might run through Spring Hill tomorrow or Thursday and put some at Grecian Pizzeria.
There we go.
So going to be plenty of places you can pick it up throughout as we get ready. And we'll have some when we are at the ball games. I'll have some at Independence on Friday, as well as at Cornersville and Richland on Thursday. You will have some.
I'll have some at Loretto Summertown Volleyball on Thursday, and at Marshall County Columbia Central Football on Friday.
So now you know where we're headed.
Yeah. I'm not sure we wanted people to know where we were headed, but there it is.
Yeah, if you catch it, you catch it.
Please be nice to us.
No doubt.
I need that.
Got a few top stories to get to real quick. As I was scrolling through MainStreetPreps.com, where you can find the most timely and comprehensive high school sports coverage across the mid-state. It's we can expand that saying.
Sure.
To MainStreetPreps.com. TSSAA last year lost a bunch of money because they weren't able to get the basketball state championships finished, and obviously no spring sports took place. So there was quite a bit of money they lost, about $810,000 or $809,000.
Oh,
809,
not 810.
Well, so 809 and 46. So it was easier to round down than up. They're $46 away from just being 809. So we won't make it any worse than it was. But yes, $809,000 last year. In 2020-21, the TSSAA profited $767,004. They're really close to that previous number. They don't like rounding up. But I'm interested in this because with football, they only budgeted to take in about $300,000. and instead they got $580,000.
They budgeted how much?
$300,000 is what they expected to take
And
in
they
from
got
football.
580.
580,000.
So they nearly doubled
Nearly doubled what
their projection.
which was
I wonder
huge.
how.
Well, as TWSWA Executive Director Bernard Childress said, people came. Sorry. Well,
I'm sorry. We had this conversation off air before the show, and so as soon as he started, I knew where he was going, and sure
people
enough,
came.
makes a difference.
And here's what I'm telling you is, if anybody thinks that Henry County stopped letting people in at 50% capacity, I can tell you for a fact,
With all
a
certainty.
guaranteed fact, that was not the case.
I guarantee you, if the fire marshal was there, he was not counting. He was there watching the ball game, right along with everybody else
in Henry County.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So
they weren't turning anybody away
that is how you double your projection.
by doubling the number of people that come in. Yeah.
It works out real well that way.
Wow.
So, that's good. Good for them. Just thought that was worth noting that they almost made up for that entire shortfall with this year's projections. So, well done to all of you who went to ball games. Thank you for helping
Whether you should have or not. Yeah.
helping alleviate that issue. Number 2, Mount Juliet Christian. This coming from our friend Tommy Bryan up in Lebanon.
And you made a really good point as we were discussing this situation.
Yeah, well, let me just the Mount Juliet Christian is going to play its first home game inside their gym on Thursday, August 19th against Ezo Harding Christian.
That'll be volleyball.
It will be a volleyball match.
So that'll be the first
thing that's taken place inside their gym since March 2020, which, if you're thinking, well, why has their gym been closed for COVID? It wasn't
COVID.
But
it's easy enough to think that.
In case you forgot, there was a
Right.
devastating tornado that ripped through Donaldson and all the way through Cookeville, and probably a little bit farther than that. It ripped all the way from Nashville to Cookeville at least,
Easily.
and took out the Mount Juliet Christian gym. It has been repaired, and they will play again for the first time in that gym since March 2020. Again, that's on Thursday at 5:30 against Ezo Harding. So it's pretty cool. It's just interesting that, I mean, it's not hard to forget that tornado happened.
The timing of that tornado and then COVID coming, or COVID
Literally a week or two later.
right around the same time, basically. So I mean, yeah, it's amazing how easily such a devastating event got overshadowed by
A more
another
devastating
event. Yeah, it's been tough for that area, and so this is just another step in the recovery, the rebound, the bounce back, and so
Don't call it a comeback.
I've been here for years.
So, yeah, really excited. If you want to read that story, also on MainStreetPreps.com. A story that's not on MainStreetPreps.com.
Yeah, saw this on Twitter earlier well, we saw it yesterday on Twitter initially. Perry County, which isn't in our coverage area, but this is a issue that, as I go on, is going to impact folks, around this area and across the state. Perry County lost its season opening football game against Middleton because Middleton is dealing with COVID-19 issues. They announced today that they have picked up Harding Academy out of Memphis. So Harding Academy will be playing at Linden on Friday night in place of Middleton. Also today it was announced that Good Pastures' season opening game against Liberty will now be against University School of Jackson because Liberty is having some COVID-19 issues. So, I mean, we've not even gotten to the opening week or to the opening Friday night of football, and already we're seeing issues with the pandemic again.
Yep. And it's probably not going to be the last time we hear of a game being canceled and rescheduled. So we'll keep you updated. And the way we're going to do that is this segment right here. Very important.
No, we're not in that segment yet.
We are in that segment because we have to be. Let's give you the rundown.
This is the Rundown. This is your Tuesday Rundown brought to you by Jim Davis at Grow Live Give. Visit them at growlivegive.com or give them a call at 615-682-0022. Securities offered through IFP Securities, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, IFP member, FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through IFP Advisors, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, Registered Investment Advisor. IFP and Grow Live Give are not affiliated.
In Monday volleyball action, Columbia Academy defeated Columbia Central 3-2. It was Loretto 3, Lawrence County 1. Mount Pleasant defeated Giles County 3-0. And in high school soccer, Giles County defeated Culleoka 5-1.
In Major League Baseball action, it was the Braves 12, Marlins 2. The Reds whipped the Cubs 14-5, and the Rockies edged the Padres 6-5.
Today's Major League Baseball schedule, the Braves and Marlins play at 6:10 on Bally Sports. That game is also on WKRM 103.7, pregame beginning at 4:55. At 9:10 on ESPN Plus, it's the Pirates and the Dodgers. And at 7:10 tonight at AutoZone Park, it's the Sounds at Memphis.
In high school volleyball action today at 6 o'clock, it's Loretto at Columbia Central. Zion Christian hosting Santa Fe also at 6. At 6:30, Summit will host Ravenwood, and at times unknown, Independence is at Nolensville, and Hampshire hosting Mount Pleasant.
Girls soccer action around the area. Columbia Academy plays at Fairview at 6. Also at 6, Columbia Central's at Lipscomb Academy, and Culleoka is at Waverly. Marshall County is at Spring Hill at 6. Richland at Loretto at 6. Summit and Ravenwood play at Ravenwood at 7. And Independence plays at Siegel. Time, we have no idea.
In golf action today at Montgomery Bell, it is Columbia Academy, Fairview, and Santa Fe. Columbia Central and Brentwood are playing somewhere. It's to be announced, and no one announced it. At Beaufort Ellington, you can find Forest and Richland. Hampshire, Loretto, and Summertown are all at Lawrenceburg. Independence and Summit also somewhere.
Maybe they're playing wherever Columbia Central and Brentwood
Perhaps they are at TBA, which is not Thompson Bowling Arena, because that'd be a weird place to play golf.
Be interesting.
And then finally over at Tohey or Towie, we're not sure how to pronounce that. It's in Spring Hill.
It used to be Kings Creek.
Used to be Kings Creek. Nolensville and Spring Hill are taking part in golf. So that is your Tuesday rundown on Southern Middle Tennessee sports today. All right, when we come back, we've got Charles Pulliam coming to you from our Alaska Bureau. That's our Alaskan correspondent on the waters, fishing right now. So should be an interesting segment. Stick around because Charles has got plenty to say, and he'll be back for a football game Friday, right? So that's crazy. Anyway, Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be right back to the Lee Company studio right after this.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, I'm Robert Rogers at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
And I'm Michael Parks Lawrence at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
Together, we're Mr. Bobby Parks' grandsons, and we run his dealership, and we are glad to be part of our local community.
Being family owned and operated, we invest heavily in our community.
We do things like sports teams, schools, bands, you name it. We try to help everybody we can.
The reason why we do this is because we all love this community.
So come do business with us, your neighbors, at Parks Motor Sales in Columbia, Tennessee, right off Nashville Highway, or at parksmotorsales.com.
Are you thinking about a new fence? Maybe you need a pole barn. Then you should give Sands Fence Company a call. That's 931-309-1644. Will Sands has built his business based on the principles of honesty, quality, and integrity. Sands Fence Company has been in business for over 20 years, providing the community with farm, residential, and commercial fencing, as well as pole barns and buildings. Call today for a free estimate. Sands Fence Company, 931-309-1644. 931-309-1644.
Hi, I'm Steve, the garbage man. By now you all know about Don, our service truck guy. Well, let me tell you about another member of our service team, and that's Mike Ashley. He's the guy you'll talk to when you call the office. Just call and talk to Mike one time at 931-540-0919, and you'll see why we're lucky to have him here at the Garbage Man. Thanks, Mike, for all you do to keep the Garbage Man first in service. That's 931-540-0919.
Why do people trust Tillis Jewelry with their jewelry repairs?
Hi, this is Terry Tillis. We feel each piece of jewelry is important to our customers, and they deserve the utmost care with every item that is brought to us. Your jewelry is inspected when we receive it to determine exactly what repairs are needed. A photo is taken and documented, and then it goes to our goldsmith. Once the repair is completed, the jewelry is re-inspected to make sure it has been restored to its original condition.
Come see us at Tillis Jewelry, located in Columbia and Lewisburg.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter, like the stair that only creaks when everyone else in the house is asleep. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call Davis Heating and Cooling at 931-388-2090 for all your home comfort needs. Davis Heating and Cooling is your local American Standard dealer and proudly serves the Murray County area. Find Davis Heating and Cooling online and on Facebook or call today, 388-2090.
For 40 years, Beck Dental Care has been the personalized and comfortable option for the health of your smile. The caring staff maintains a high level of safety protocols and attention to detail. Advanced technology provides your choice of sedation and the best of dental implant solutions to restore complete oral health. Open until 7 p.m. 2 nights a week. 931-388-8452. Beck Dental Care in Columbia, 1603 Rosewood Drive.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yow.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coming to you from the Lee Company studio, and happy to have you guys with us here on this Tuesday edition. As you all know, each and every Tuesday we get a chance to visit with one of our friends from the Williamson Herald, bringing you some of the best high school coverage from Nolensville to Fairview and Brentwood to Spring Hill. All the way across and up and down. Doesn't matter. They got you covered at the Williamson Herald. This guy doing all the coverage and apparently needed just one more tiny getaway before high school football started, and He's got to be the only person that I know, Mo, who can just get away to Alaska.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit easier for Charles Pulliam to get away to Alaska than you would expect. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's from there. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Charles.
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Well, hey, you tell me. I mean, so I reach out to this guy. I'm like, hey, can we get you on at 4:25 this afternoon? It's like, yeah, shouldn't be a problem. I think I'll have pretty good reception up here. I'm like, hey, where are you?
Up where? In Williamson County?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Verizon towers are everywhere there.
First of all, what time is it there?
Well, it's about 1:30.
Okay.
So we're 3 hours behind, but yeah, I'm actually in the family skiff right now. We're sitting on our little net catching fish. Little breakaway. I'll be back Friday. I got football lined up for that night. I feel kind of bad missing some of the fun games tonight. I had a volleyball game I was going to check out, things like that. But some dad time. My dad and I doing some fishing out here. Kind of nice.
That's awesome. And I know you and your dad do some radio stuff together as well. On a regular basis, the Alaska State basketball tournament, you guys team up and do some radio slash streaming with that. So,
oh yeah, we've done a lot. Dad's been he's the voice of rural Alaska basketball. Kind of cool.
so you guys are kind of working. You're working on that chemistry today, then.
Yeah, there you go. We got to get back out and do some games. I keep telling him to come down sometime, so hopefully we can knock out a play-by-play down in Tennessee at some point in Wilco.
If you bring him back, he can head to Summit and Henry County this week, as Summit will be without their play-by-play.
Wait,
guy.
you guys don't want to go back to Paris?
I'm gonna pass on that one.
Okay, all right.
For the regular season. I mean, if it's playoffs, that's it just means more. But
well, that's just one of those games that this county's. It's crazy to think about. I mean, to know that Summit's going to go play their season opener on the road where they won to make it to the championship last year. It's just like, wow. And they got Beach on the schedule. They won against them in the quarterfinals. It's going to be such a busy slate of football. Week in, week out. I'm blown away.
Yeah, and as I look at this week's schedule involving Williamson County teams, Centennial hosts Overton. Arcente Broome makes his debut with the Bobcats against the Centennial team that is really, just bluntly kind of looking up at everybody else in Region 7-6A. So Matt Kreisky with a chance to make a statement here in this one at home on the new turf, by the way.
Exactly. And, that's one of several new turf spots in the county. But the Centennial team, talking to them during media day, getting to know these guys a little bit. A lot of those guys were the same guys last year who really got beat up on, and they know they're being looked down and overlooked on. And I think they're kind of one of those little dangerous ones, and they're going to come out and pick somebody off for sure. Josh Forsey, Brendan Jones at QB coming back. He's a junior. There's some guys out there. So we'll see how they do. Kofi Boggs is a really good athlete for him too. So kind of looking forward to seeing what those guys can do. And a nice little way to break in the new turf.
You mentioned the Summit Henry County game. Also, a game involving the southern part of the county. Christ Presbyterian going to Independence Friday night. Huge ball game.
Yeah, and that was one that they tried for, I think, 2 weeks last season to play that game, but COVID stuff just kind of kept getting in the way. I talked to both Scott and Engel there at CPA, and we kind of joked about that. It's like, yeah, this game's been on the docket for about 10 months now, so finally going to knock it out. And it's going to be fun. You get to see the CPA boys coming off their championship, the recent Vandy commits, Cade Law, Langston Patterson, guys like that, leading the way for that CPA team. I mean, they are super talented, averaged almost 33 points a game last year, and they get a lot of those key hogs back. And for Indy, I'm really interested to see, the debut of Joe Cummings at QB. That's the kind of guy Scott Blades and team really likes, and they get a nice test right out of the gate. Good measuring stick against one of the top teams in the area in that CPA squad.
Speaking of measuring sticks, MBA goes over to Ravenwood in the return of Will Hester to East Brentwood.
Yeah. Well, that's talking about these games overall. I mean, I got seven home games this week featuring Williamson County teams, and I think 3 of them are all county area ones. But that's one of those non-conference matchups that's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, you guys see Marcel Reed for MBA going against Chris Parson for Ravenwood, 2 of the top QBs in the class of 2023 going head to head in Will Hester's first game back at Ravenwood. I mean, just there's so many storylines to follow there, and so many great non-conference games we got lined up here. That's actually one that I think was kind of high on my list to at least go check out for a while when I get back on Friday. We'll see how things go. But yeah, it's hard to pass up on a true quarterback duel like that one.
Couple of big Williamson County, Rutherford County matchups as Brentwood goes to Blackman and Franklin goes to Riverdale.
And at the same time, those are coaching debut ones too. So you get to see Clint Finch of Brentwood make his debut for the Bruins. And then on the other side, it's Alex Mountain's first game leading the Franklin boys too. And for Franklin, that's the one that, I mean, there's a lot of unknowns there. I mean, everything starts up front with Fisher Anderson, big Stanford offensive line commit, but they only returned 3 starters overall. And they got a pretty talented, speedy guy in Bryce Sparks to hand off to. And obviously when you're running behind a guy like Fisher, you could do some stuff there. You could do some damage. Talk to both those guys. They talk about Bryce having, a breakout style season. And he's definitely capable of it. Had a nice one last year. I think he ran for about 750 yards or so. But
had a big
lot
game
of
against
unknowns
Summit
on that team. Yeah, exactly. And you go back, Summit's only loss last year was against Franklin. Obviously, a big circled game I have is that regular season finale. We'll know a lot about what hopefully there's some playoff stuff in play there, but that'll be kind of neat when it's Franklin Summit at the end there. So many storylines there.
Speaking with Charles Pulliam from the Williamson Herald, and you mentioned a lot of Williamson County schools breaking in new turf this season. Well, one of those isn't Page, but one is Fairview. Fairview plays at Page in the Battle of 840, so it'll be a little bit longer before the Yellow Jackets get on their new turf. But
that is not black, much to the chagrin of Chris.
Much to us, it's not black and it's not gold. I kind of expected one or the other out of Chris Hughes.
I think he wanted it.
I was expecting a big highlighter there, right? I mean, like an equivalent of like a Boise State style,
That's exactly what we would have thought. And if Chris Hughes had his way, there's no doubt that it would have been colored.
A yellow field with black yard markers and then black end zones with gold print.
Would have been
I'd be so happy with that too, because taking the pictures, you're going to have the light reflecting off the colored field. It's just going to be, that's where you want, man. Just do some white balance adjustments, and I'll be shooting photos there all the time.
You have to use the tungsten filter to put a little blue in there just to get that yellow out, but then you'd be good to go. Hey, Charles, real quick, I don't know if you saw this or have heard since, considering
where you are.
How
long have you been up there?
Busy.
So I actually just got in yesterday, but I put together our final setup for our high school football tab that comes out with our editions. Got to give that a little shout out. It's a 48-page tab coming out, and we edited it to the end there. Big shout out to my buddy Josh Vardaman for doing a lot of the editing down the stretch. But that's to the printer. It's coming out. It's a big one. So I got in last night, did a couple stories this morning. The Nolensville Little League baseball team playing in the Little League World Series on Thursday. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going, and somehow I found a way to get away to Homer, Alaska right now. Still kind of baffles me even that I'm sitting in the skiff. I got an eagle right in front of me watching us as we watch our net. We're battling a seal to fight for our fish right now. Just standard Alaska stuff.
Just standard Alaska stuff. I love it. So, here's what I just saw. Came out about an hour ago. The high school Butkus Award watch list. Couple of names we've heard. Langston Patterson of CPA is on the watch list, and of course Keaton Wade. Both
there
guys
you go.
have made the watch list. So big, they're both involved in those big games we were talking about earlier, Summit, Henry County, and CPA Independence. That's pretty big accolade there to be on the watch list with about 40 other kids across the country.
Well, and thinking that, I actually did not see that, but of kids to pick, my gosh, those are two right there. And this is, a Keaton Wade that played 2 games in a quarter last year. To think of the respect he has and all that, everybody that if you see him once, you got the idea. And, talking to him about 2 weeks ago for season preview stuff and seeing him on 7-on-7, that guy at 100% is some kind of scary. So I could totally understand and super happy that he's going to get that kind of recognition. And Langston Patterson, just another one of those kids. Just both these guys actually, dual sport guys too. And man, that's fantastic news. Shoot. I wish I could see a CPA Summit game, to be honest, but I'll take all the other great ones we have.
Yeah. One other game I want to mention this weekend involving a couple of Williamson County teams. BGA plays at Nolensville.
Yeah, first meeting there, and that's one of those. It's interesting. BGA is going to play Nolensville to start, and then they actually play Ravenwood next week as well. So, Coach Jonas Rodriguez trying to build off a little bit of. They had a nice little close last year. The Wildcats won 3 of 4, went for 2 in the state quarterfinals, ended up losing to Evangelical Christian School. 14-13, I think, was the final in overtime. But, they want to keep that potential going. A couple good athletes, Deshaun Williams. They got Brett there back at quarterback. A couple good guys running in there. But it'll be a fun challenge to see what that Nolensville team does. And, of course, they're led. You can't say Nolensville without Samson Johnson, back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher guy. And he's a junior. Who rushes for 1,000 yards as a freshman? Well, Samson does.
There you go. Well, looking forward to a lot of those matchups and looking forward to seeing y'all's coverage in the Williamson Herald, Charles. So I know you'll be out and about and scooting around and getting your land legs back under you after a few days in Alaska.
Yeah, it'll be good. I'll have some fish coming back too, so I'll take stuff to maybe some highest bidders of friends there. You never know.
Well, I'll be getting at you for that because the last stuff you brought back was pretty good. So
yeah. This is it goes pretty well. We're actually going to have a little fillet party here soon. We got to get some of these on ice.
If you've got enough to put on ice, you've got plenty, and that's always good to have. A good problem to have is get them on ice. Charles Pulliam of the Williamson Herald, man, thanks for taking some time with us out of your fishing expedition, and keep the Eagles away.
Will do, man. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you on the sidelines out there.
Yes, sirree. Charles Pulliam of the Williamson Herald, brought to you by the Williamson Herald. Really exciting there because Williamson County has some of the best football games this week that you're going to see, and it doesn't get any worse.
Yeah,
it starts great and it doesn't get worse.
Yeah, it's not like these are the highlight. I mean,
no, this is just the beginning.
They've got games like that all year.
It's going to be fun. All right, that's going to do it. And for this segment anyway, we are going to come back, talk a little Atlanta Braves, because what's not to talk about? Good things going on over on the Braves side of the world. So we will get to that here in just a second. Stick around on the other side of the break. Coming back, Atlanta Braves on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Be right back right after this.
One-stop shopping. That's why so many people shop Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat of Columbia. As the #1 volume CDJR dealer in Tennessee, we offer the largest selection of new Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler vehicles. And when you have the largest selection of new, you have the largest selection of used, too. Combine that with state-of-the-art, fast, accurate service, and you've got Tennessee's #1 volume dealer. Shop online at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Columbia.net. Middle Tennessee's Ram Truck and Jeep headquarters. You can count on us. Based on combined retail and fleet sales as awarded by Chrysler in the state of Tennessee in 2019.
Hello, I'm Barbara Lincoln with Holland's Pharmacy. You may have heard our previous commercials about compression hosiery that we carry at Holland's Pharmacy. Well, we've recently expanded into a full line of knee braces, back, wrist, ankle, and other support wear. We will gladly help you get just the right fit for these items and, of course, special order items to ensure the proper fit. Come see us at Holland's Pharmacy, 1608 Hatcher Lane, or call us at 931-388-4233. 388-4233.
If you come to Arby's from 2 to 5 p.m., you can get sliders for $1. For another $1, you can get a small drink or fries or a snack shake. And for the low, low price of another $1, you can round out this afternoon snack with warm cookies. It's really a meal at this point, but call it a snack. That way, you can come back for dinner. Arby's, we have the meat.
Dollar price valid for small fries and drinks, snack shakes, and classic sliders. Available at participating locations for a limited time.
Hey folks, this is Chandler Anderson from the Right Care Clinic located in front of Walmart. We've been open 11 years there now, and 11 seems to be our magic number. We open at 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and we're open 7 days a week to make sure that you get the right care you need. Come on by and see Caitlin, Kim, and Robert, and they'll get you the right care. Remember, we were there for you during COVID. We never shut our doors. Right Care Walk-In Clinic located in front of Walmart, open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week. Remember, folks, we stay late so you don't wait.
Serving Murray County for 40 years, the Jewelers Bench has provided the highest quality jewelry at the very best prices. They work hard to make their customers happy, and it's paid off. Their customers keep going back. Quality jewelry, custom vintage and estate pieces, and professional jewelry and watch repairs. We offer jewelry loans up to $4,500, and we will buy your gold. The Jewelers Bench, still here, still the same. 808 Trotwood Avenue, Columbia.
Terrence here at Shepherd Lumberyard, where we value you, the customer. We've been serving Columbia and surrounding areas since 1946. We're located in our new location at 103 Cemetery Avenue. Anything that has to do with building or remodeling, we're here to assist. When you shop local, you help shape the community. We are locally owned, family owned, and veteran owned. And by the way, God is in charge. You can reach us at 931-388-3612, and our website is shepherdlumberyard@yahoo.com.
Hey, this is Derek Ransom with 10 Pin Alley, voted #1 family entertainment center in Murray County. We offer 32 bowling lanes, giant arcade, laser tag, bumper cars, and a full cafe and bar menu. We also specialize in group events, kids and adult birthday parties, company parties, sports team parties, and holiday parties. We're located at 322 East James Campbell Boulevard in Columbia. Call us today at 931-381-BOWL or visit us at 10pin.com. 10 Pin Alley, it's where the good times roll.
At CSH, we know the sport of football builds discipline, character, and work ethic, 3 common characteristics of winners. It's a sport where we drowns out me. Leadership is nurtured, and that's why CSH supports all Murray County football teams, and want to say a special thanks and good luck to every player, coach, volunteer, and parent of this year's teams, from youth programs, middle schools, and high schools. We know football builds men that make a difference. Let's go.
When the Braves play, Chris and Mo are talking about it.
Yeah, that's trash can juice.
Speak for yourself.
For better or worse, on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Back to the Lee Company studio. Yep, they're fans too. Here's Chris and Mo.
Welcome back in. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. As we approach the end of hour one, we are 1/4 hour away from the Ole Miss preview. We're going to talk to Parrish Alford at the top of the second hour as we continue our SEC football previews. He will talk to us about the Rebs, Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin. We'll talk a little NFL. It's cut down day. A couple of names that we expected, a couple that are surprising. I'm going to be honest with you. And it's Top 5 Tuesday. So we're going to tell you our top 5 favorite pizzas, which is kind of it's kind of a weird way to say it. So basically what we're saying is it's not going to be like just pizza places. It may not be the type of pizza. It may be a type of pizza from a specific place. It's just listen.
Work with us.
Us on this one, because it's kind of ambiguous to say best pizza. I mean, it could be anything. So tell us what your favorite pizza is on Twitter at SM_TN Sports. We are there. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, any of those places, make sure to give us a comment. Let us know you're there. We'd love to talk with you, interact with you via Facebook, even though it's about 20 seconds behind. We'll get to you, I promise. I did see Michael Long was on Facebook earlier. I don't know if he had us pulled up just yet, but I know he was active. So if he wasn't watching, we know. If you're not watching,
well, if he wasn't watching, we're going to talk about him.
That's right. We will talk trash about you.
Well, as much as he talks trash about us,
I know.
Right.
Talking about
stalker.
But until the top of the hour, we're going to talk a little Atlanta Braves because
it's enjoyable to do so for a change.
11 of 13, is that?
Yeah.
So this is the for better part. We've done the for worse part. So 11 of the last 13, the Braves are now an entire 7 games above 500 and alone atop the National League East.
So what are they since they went over 500?
That's a good question. I will say that I told you so about that one. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The Braves are killing it right now. You know who else kills it?
I know who else kills it, but go ahead and tell me anyway.
Our friends at Jones & Lang. Why don't you tell us about them?
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. So be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
The winner is the Braves. A bunch. Like I said, 11 times out of the last 13 times out. Sitting tonight out of Huascar, Inoa, against a guy who's really been tough against the Braves, and that's Sandy Alcantara. He's been really good against the Braves in his entire last couple of years.
And it's pretty amazing. Sandy Alcantara has a 3.52 ERA, but he's 7-10.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean that's tough. But,
I've seen that before. I mean, the Braves. When Derek Lowe was with the Braves at one time, he had a sub 3.5 ERA and was like 2-8. And I'm just like, this poor guy.
Just hearing the name Derek Lowe sounds like fingers on a chalkboard to me.
But yet, there was a time he was pretty good for the Braves, and it just felt like every time he went out, he was giving up 4 or 5. But that wasn't always the case. So it may feel like this guy is not getting the job done for Miami, but more times than not, he's doing his part.
Yeah, but I tell you what, if the Braves offense shows up the way it did yesterday, you won't have to worry about him for very long because you'll be into that bullpen pretty quick. Scored 7 in the 4th after Tukey kind of settled down, gave up a home run to Jazz Chisholm on the first pitch in the bottom of the first, and I think he gave up 2 solo home runs.
He did.
But other than that, 6 1/3, 3 hits, the two earned runs, 7 Ks. I don't want to say he's turned a corner, but he's certainly been what this rotation needed at the right time.
I also think he's kind of finally becoming what we've expected out of Tukey. I mean, 2 years ago, this was a guy who was highly touted, and he just never could quite get to the major league level. He goes back through the minor league system after an injury this year, and again, confidence sometimes is what you have to have. That's the difference maker. We've talked about it on the show about how saying a change of scenery and a change of environment can help somebody. Sometimes making that trek all the way back from low A up to the majors gives you a little perspective and some confidence when you're mowing down hitters at every level.
Yeah, and he certainly did that and has continued that good work since he finally got back to Atlanta. Again, the Braves continue their series at Miami tonight. Braves come in at 63-56. They got to 54-54 during their series against St. Louis, so they've gone 9-2 since then.
9-2. I told you.
Yeah.
All they had to do was get over the hump, and then it was going to be all downhill from there.
Well, that seems to certainly be the case, and they're taking advantage of this spot in the schedule. The Marlins 51-68 following that 12-2 loss yesterday. Again,
remember the Marlins were coming off a 4-game sweep. Now, granted, it was the Double-A Cubs, but still a 4-game sweep.
Sweep's a sweep. This game is at 6:10. Pre-game is at 4:55 on our sister station.
In about 2 minutes?
Yeah, in about 2 minutes, yeah. On 103.7 WKRM FM. The game will be shown on Bally Sports. As you mentioned, Huascar Ynoa makes his return, comes back. He's 4-2 with a 3.02 ERA. And I probably should have looked up his offensive numbers as well, but I did not.
I will be interested to see how well he swings the bat tonight. I will. I mean, when Max came back, no, obviously Max wasn't out as long as Ynoa was, but when Max came back, he continued his hot streak from the plate. So I'll be interested to see how Ynoa swings the bat tonight.
You know, with Ronald Acuna Jr. out, I hope that the Marlins don't decide that
he's the guy.
Ynoa is their target.
I wouldn't know. Well, they didn't try to hit anybody last night that I'm aware of. So hopefully there are no targets. Don Mattingly can.
That's interesting.
Anyway.
That's really interesting. If they don't throw at anybody in this series, and then that's just interesting,
isn't it?
I mean, what did Acuna do to them?
Well, he showboated home runs. Apparently, I guess that was it. He walked out of the batter's box once. Wasn't it a walk-off though? I think he walked off a game
literally
and then walked off the field as he walked around the bases. But anyway, some interesting news from around the league.
Very interesting.
I got to ask you, if there were 2 former Braves pitchers who were going to be signing with the Dodgers,
these would not have been them.
These ain't the guys. Shane Green appears to be. Is it official? Or are they still working on it?
It's Twitter official. I don't know. Let's see.
The Dodgers appear to be working on signing former Braves reliever Shane Green because...
And the initial response is,
why? What has he done to show you that he can be effective in 2021?
Mark Feinsand, 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 at Feinsand on Twitter. He's got a blue check. MLB.com executive reporter and MLB Network insider is reporting it. Reported it earlier today. Shane Green and the Dodgers are getting close to an agreement on a major league deal per source. And again, why?
Well, here's why.
Okay.
Because the last guy they tried to...
The last ex-Brave.
The last former Brave they tried to sign... through one inning of a simulated game and was then placed on the 60-day IL. And that,
which is about the same. What did he throw? 3 for the Braves?
He may have thrown 3 or 4 innings for the Braves, but that is former Philadelphia Philly and All-Star. Did he win a Cy Young?
I think he did win a Cy Young.
Cole Hamels, former Brave there, and for about 5 minutes he wore a Braves uniform. But apparently, if for nothing else, he apparently helped the bullpen quite a bit last year, coaching-wise. So I don't understand why he doesn't just come be the bullpen coach in Atlanta, because we'd take him.
Okay, so apparently Hamels got $1 million out of the Dodgers for not throwing a pitch.
Well, you remember that there are certain stipulations. That was the contract. He didn't get paid all the money that the Braves signed him for. He's not going to get a full $1 million either. So there are stipulations in
but relative to his production,
yeah,
he's done pretty well for himself.
No doubt. Whatever he got was more than he deserved, clearly, because whatever he threw in that workout,
it's more than he threw.
Was more than he threw for the Dodgers.
3 and a third innings in one start for the Braves last year.
That's insane.
So, real quick, we are obviously coming up on the break, huh?
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about. What are we talking about?
Whatever you were going for.
Oh, okay. Well, 2 things. One, the Sounds begin their 6-game series at Memphis tonight, 7-10 at AutoZone Park. It's Andy Otero, 0-1 with a 9.69 ERA versus Matthew Liberatore, 4-7 with a 5.03. Little known fact, Sounds have not won back-to-back series since that 15-game win streak that they had. They have gone 3-3-5 since then. They've won 3, lost 3, and split 5 series since that streak back in, May?
Yeah,
so
that's tough.
Okay. This day in Braves history, on August 17th, 2016, batting 8th against the Minnesota Twins, Dansby Swanson lined out to center field in his first Major League Baseball at bat, singled to right in the 4th, and wound up going 2 for 4 in his debut as they fell 10-3 at Turner Field. Swanson became the quickest number 1 overall picked by the Diamondbacks, as you remember, who traded him, Ender Inciarte, and Aaron Blair for Shelby Miller and Gabe Spire in December 15. Quickest number 1 overall pick to make it to the major since Steven Strasburg did so in 2009. Played just 105 minor league games before becoming the first position player picked number 1 to reach the majors a year after his selection since the Angels' Darren Erstad did so in 1996. So
I remember watching him. I went to a Mississippi Birmingham game, and when I left there, I go, this guy's fantastic on defense, but he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. And
well, you see how
he's
that's
figured it out.
Yeah.
Whatever he's done, and about 10 games into the season, I would have said this guy couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. Now he can.
Yeah, great story on this. I just retweeted it earlier this hour, but on foxsports.com from about 5 years ago.
All right, check it out. When we come back, we've got Parrish Alford talking Ole Miss football from the Tupelo Daily Journal, coming to you from the Lee Company studio. This is Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be right back after this.
Progressive Motorcycle presents Road Wisdom from the Motorhome.
The road is everything you want it to be.
Everything.
As long as what you want is road.
To ride your motorcycle on. Progressive Motorcycle also presents basic policy starting at $79 a year. Progressive Motorcycle, for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy is not available in all states.
Roofing isn't something you think about until you need it. When you do, let Roof Systems Inc. be your first call. Roof Systems Inc. is locally owned and has been providing excellent service since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes or installing new roofs for large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Why choose Roof Systems Inc.? Well, in our customers' words, best experience I've had with construction-related business. Honest, professional, friendly, and affordable. Call today, 931-398-5977. That's 931-398-5977.
A deadly exit. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The U.S. is ramping up evacuation efforts in Afghanistan a day after the chaos at the airport in Kabul as thousands tried to get out after the capital city fell to the Taliban. The Pentagon says the airport is now secure, but it's not U.S. forces who control the outermost perimeter.
The Taliban have informed us that they are prepared to provide the safe passage of civilians to the airport, and we intend to hold them to that commitment.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan defending President Biden's decision to stick with the withdrawal plan. Meantime, the Air Force is investigating human remains found outside a cargo plane.
The Air Force Office of Special Investigations is open to review after the discovery of human remains in the wheel well of a C-17 aircraft. That aircraft delivered a load of equipment to Kabul's airport Sunday and was surrounded by hundreds of Afghan civilians. A statement from the Air Force says the air crew decided to depart as quickly as possible. Online videos showed people falling from the plane as it was taking off. The human remains were discovered after landing in Qatar. The plane has now been impounded for an inspection.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. We may be wearing masks on airplanes, trains, and buses into next year. 3 sources telling Reuters the Biden administration plans to extend requirements for travelers through January 18th. There's no confirmation yet. The current order is set to expire next month. Hawaii's largest private hospital system has run out of ICU beds. They're now canceling some elective surgeries and diverting emergency patients to other hospitals. And we're just getting word that Texas Governor Greg Abbott tested positive today for COVID. He's been tested daily. Today was his first positive test result. The governor's office says he is fully vaccinated, currently experiencing no symptoms. America is listening to Fox News. Parts of a new abortion law are being challenged in court.
The Arizona law would ban abortions of babies with Down syndrome or other genetic diagnoses. The suit also challenges the provision that confers people's rights on embryos and fetuses. The Arizona law signed by Republican Governor Doug Ducey earlier this year would also put penalties on doctors who could be fined or lose their licenses and charge those who help raise money for the procedure.
Fox's Colonel Scott. Republican state legislatures around the country have passed new restrictions with an eye toward a new Supreme Court challenge. As the Taliban offers assurances today, an Afghan director issues a dire warning.
A female director from Afghanistan has issued a plea on Twitter about what could come as a result of the collapse of Afghanistan after the Taliban seized power amid the withdrawal of U.S. troops. Sarah Karimi is the first and only woman in Afghanistan to hold a Ph.D. in cinema and filmmaking and serves as the general director of the Afghan Film Organization on Twitter. She called for help from the international community. She wrote, "In the last few weeks, they have massacred our people, kidnapped many children. They sold girls as child brides to their men. It's a humanitarian crisis, and yet the world is silent."
Fox's Michelle Polino. The UN's Human Rights Council plans to hold a special session next week after dozens of countries supported a request for that from Pakistan. The U.S. transportation chief makes a family announcement, posting online that he and his husband have become parents. Secretary Pete Buttigieg not offering details yet, noting the process isn't finished, but he says they're overjoyed. He's the first openly gay cabinet member confirmed by the U.S. Senate. COVID concerns resurface on Wall Street, also rattled by events in Afghanistan. The Dow drops 282 after 5 record highs in a row. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
A lot of my friends basically went to work for the cartels right off the bat.
Ed Calderon spent his career confronting Mexico's ruthless drug cartels face to face.
Nightly raids on different houses and places where people were suspected of storing drugs.
The former paramilitary law enforcement officer was born and raised in what he calls one of the most heavily trafficked cities on the planet, Tijuana.
The vehicle carrying this man, the assistant chief of Tijuana's municipal police, sits riddled with bullets.
He was found probably 12 hours later with his IV screwed into his forehead, tortured into death, basically. It scared the out of all of us.
Ed acquired a set of unique survival skills that has earned him the nickname the Sneak Reaper. A bag of tricks that make special operators nervous and maybe even a little jealous.
In exactly 2 minutes, I'm going to start putting more restraints on you.
Hurry the up! One of his more signature strengths is teaching people how to avoid being kidnapped, or how to increase your odds if you aren't as lucky.
Everybody's capable of being dangerous at any time, even if they're handcuffed, even if they're bound. What makes you dangerous is your nature.
In The Alchemy of Violence, Narcos, Reapers, and Survival, Ed talks about facing the real Grim Reaper.
We were being targeted. People had eyes on us.
And explains how his brushes with true violence have changed him and how he's used that alchemy to find and help others.
Listen to the complete season of Alchemy of Violence on Fox News Podcast Plus starting July 12th. Fox News Podcast Plus is our new subscriber-based offering without commercials, includes bonus content, and exclusive shows like this one, exclusively on Apple Podcasts. Visit foxnewspodcast.com.
Covering the teams you care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Once again, live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's Chris Yow.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Excited to be with you here in hour number 2. Taking you all the way home from wherever you may be. Your drive time sports talk station. Yeah. We are the station. We're the whole drive time sports talk. Oh man. What's going on, man? Mo, this has been a good Tuesday.
It has been a good Tuesday, although I'm a little stumped. I'm over here trying to make sure I don't embarrass myself in the final segment of the day.
On your pizza?
Yeah.
I feel you. As we
typically prepare for this because we typically have our top 5 topic in advance.
Before 3 o'clock on Tuesday? We forgot that it was Tuesday because JP messed us up yesterday. We thought it was Sunday.
They do start to run together.
They all just run together. There's no question there.
Feels like Groundhog Day.
Just keeps over and over.
Yeah.
As we continue our Southeastern Conference football previews, we are joined by Tupelo Daily Journal sports writer Parrish Alford to talk about the Rebs and Lane Kiffin, who in these parts, it's hard to say his name without getting pitchforks, but it is what it is. Parrish, thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing well, Parrish. Appreciate you taking some time with us this afternoon. Before we get too much into Ole Miss 2021, I want to revisit a comment that my colleague just made here. Lane Kiffin coached up here 1 year. Well, not up here, but 3 hours to the east, as a infamous Vanderbilt coach was fond of saying back in the day. Didn't necessarily leave on the best of terms. Yeah, I don't know that he talks very often about that, but what is the reaction to Kiffin down there relative to his brief stay in Knoxville, or is there one?
I haven't heard a whole lot about, about Lane and his time in Knoxville. I mean, since he's been here, everything has been about, yes, what he accomplished at Florida Atlantic, and he, won a lot of games there, but more to the point that he spent 3 years on Nick Saban's staff and is one of several coaches who have gone on and been on staff there after, for whatever reasons, having left other jobs. A lot of emphasis has been put on his relationship with Nick Saban. He's talked about that a lot. he's credited Nick Saban for, things that he has learned and helping him become a better coach. And honestly, there just hasn't been a lot of talk about his time in Knoxville or at USC. I mean, when people talk about Lane Kiffin around here and about what he did before he got to Ole Miss, it usually just kind of ends with his time at Alabama.
Well, I can certainly understand why he would want to dismiss the USC portion of his previous tenures. Here at Tennessee, the problem is that
he was good.
He was pretty good. Coming off a 5-6 year and a loss to Wyoming from Philip Fulmer, we thought we had a great coach coming, and then next thing you know,
yeah, and
he gone.
I think they did, and yeah, I think that's probably why the irritation.
That being said, he's a much better coach now than he was then, having been a part of Nick Saban's staff, I think, and also his maturity level.
Yeah, having been through everything he's been through,
right.
I think, since he left Knoxville.
So,
I think that's the key, guys. When you look at this, I kind of compare Lane Kiffin right now to what LSU has in Ed Ogeron. Okay, Ed wasn't ready to be a head coach when he was at Ole Miss. Okay, few of us are as good in our first jobs as we will become. You hope that it's going to work out that way. LSU got a more mature version of coach, a coach who had learned some things.
Also at USC, and, former USC head coach Ed Ogeron.
Well, they were both together.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Right. Good friends. I mean, Ole Miss hopes they have that more mature version of Lane Kiffin. So we'll see.
One thing that Lane Kiffin tends to do is he takes quarterbacks where they are and elevates their play. And I think Matt Corral is just the latest exhibit in that.
Oh, absolutely. I would absolutely agree with that. I'll tell you, we didn't know as beat writers what we were going to see from Ole Miss last year. Didn't know what we were going to see from Matt Corral. In 2019, he was kind of square peg in a round hole. He was the passing quarterback in a running offense. So, he completed about 59%. And look, there was no body of work for him at the college level to remotely suggest that he was about to lead the nation in total offense. There just wasn't. I look at Matt Corral right now. A lot of these, draft stock reports and things like that, and there are people who are slow to embrace him, I think, because of his interceptions. And he threw 14 of them last year. Clearly, that's a number that he and Lane want to see reduced. But when I look at this, he had 14 interceptions last year. 11 of them came in 2 games. Okay, he had 6 against Arkansas, 5 against LSU. So 2 games when he really kind of let his recklessness come through. But the other part of that is you don't get to 6 interceptions against Arkansas if your coach pulls you out of the game, lets you look at the game a little bit, maybe regain some composure. But Lane didn't do that. He's kind of left him in there against LSU. And so you can debate that. Should he have pulled him? Should he have put him on the side, let him watch, given somebody else a chance? After the 3rd interception, I'm sitting up there thinking, yes, he should. But in both of those games, and this was as impressive as anything else that Ole Miss did last year, you have 6 turnovers. You had 7 because somebody fumbled along the way, and yet you're in position to win the game on the last drive. You have all those turnovers and all those mistakes, and yet on the last drive of the game, you've got the ball, and you have a chance to win. Same thing at LSU. Both of those drives ended in turnovers, which was kind of a theme for those games.
But you had a chance.
But I'm saying, But you reach that point in the game after all those turnovers, and you still have a chance to win. And it's not like they didn't get anything done on offense in those games, you know. So that's, to me, yeah, everybody wants to see Corral reduce the interceptions. I think you'll see that. But if you're only looking at 14 interceptions over the course of a season, that really, you know, you might think there's more recklessness there than there really is.
This defense that gave up 38.3 points a game has got to improve. Where have they improved, and will they be better than last year?
Yeah, those are the ones you wanted to pull out of the games last year.
Can we throw anybody else out there?
Yeah, somebody had to go out there. Look, I think they're going to be better, and you're just not going to know until they play some games. So they were very intentional, as you might expect in the off season, about improving that defense. And obviously, Lane really evaluated that as a talent problem. He didn't evaluate last year's defense as a coaching problem. He made only one change on his staff in the offseason. He replaced defensive line coach Deke Adams with Randall Joyner from SMU. The rest of the defensive staff is back. They signed a bunch of players on that side of the ball, a lot of defensive backs.
Got Chance Campbell out of all Big Ten selection, out of Chance Campbell at linebacker.
Yeah, and I was fixing to say, they've done it at every level. They signed high school kids, junior college kids, got a big signee in Taiwan Malone, the defensive tackle out of New Jersey. You know, that they signed all levels of players, and I just think I think they're going to be better. You'll have some returning players who will be coached up a little better. They'll contribute. They've got a lot of different newcomers to plug in. I think they're going to be better on that side of the ball.
Speaking with Parrish Alford of the Tupelo Daily Journal. And Parrish, as you look at the Ole Miss schedule, I don't know who has this game circled bigger or in red or whatever, but November 6th, Liberty comes to the Grove.
You know, when that game got on the schedule, you know, they schedule those games like 15 years in advance. You know, you're just thinking that's another non-conference November game, which honestly I like in the SEC. I mean, I think it comes at a time where, you know, under most circumstances, you look at that and you think, how you got a chance to get some people healthy. You know, it could be almost like another open date. Well, it's far from that for Ole Miss. Yeah.
One of the top
quarterbacks last year.
That quarterback matchup is going to be fun. One of the top quarterbacks in the country coming in to face off against the Rebs. So
yeah, they'll hope they're better on defense at that time.
Ain't no doubt.
You know, so very, very interesting game there. You know, Hugh Freeze is a good coach on any given game day anyway, but he'll be highly motivated for that game.
No question. Ole Miss looking to break into that SEC West top tier, which is almost impossible to do. But speaking with us today is Parrish Alford of the Tupelo Daily Journal. Parrish, thanks so much for your insight into the Rebels. We're always looking at Ole Miss. We enjoy the Rebels and Lane Kiffin. So thank you for taking some time with us today.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good evening.
Yes, sir. And he knew it was evening. He knew. We didn't. It took us a while, but
it's after 5 o'clock.
Exactly, it's after 5. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the NFL. It's cut down day. Some names that we expected, some we did not, or at least I did not. So we'll tell you what those are and who those are on the other side of the break. Don't forget, it's Top 5 Tuesday. Best pizza coming up around 5:45. So stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, returns to the Lee Company studio right after this.
According to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I, live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, I'm Robert Rogers at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
And I'm Michael Parks Lawrence at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
Together, we're Mr. Bobby Parks' grandsons, and we run his dealership, and we are glad to be part of our local community.
Being family owned and operated, we invest heavily in our community.
We do things like sports teams, schools, bands, you name it. We try to help everybody we can.
The reason why we do this is because we all love this community.
So come do business with us, your neighbors, at Parks Motor Sales in Columbia, Tennessee, right off Nashville Highway, or at parksmotorsales.com.
Are you thinking about a new fence? Maybe you need a pole barn. Then you should give Sands Fence Company a call. That's 931-309-1644. Will Sands has built his business based on the principles of honesty, quality, and integrity. Sands Fence Company has been in business for over 20 years, providing the community with farm, residential, and commercial fencing, as well as pole barns and buildings. Call today for a free estimate. Sands Fence Company, 931-309-1644. 931-309-1644.
Hi, I'm Steve, the garbage man. By now you all know about Don, our service truck guy. Well, let me tell you about another member of our service team, and that's Mike Ashley. He's the guy you'll talk to when you call the office. Just call and talk to Mike one time at 931-540-0919, and you'll see why we're lucky to have him here at the Garbage Man. Thanks, Mike, for all you do to keep the Garbage Man first in service. That's 931-540-0919.
Why do people trust Tillis Jewelry with their jewelry repairs?
Hi, this is Terry Tillis. We feel each piece of jewelry is important to our customers, and they deserve the utmost care with every item that is brought to us. Your jewelry is inspected when we receive it to determine exactly what repairs are needed. A photo is taken and documented, and then it goes to our goldsmith. Once the repair is completed, the jewelry is re-inspected to make sure it has been restored to its original condition.
Come see us at Tillis Jewelry, located in Columbia and Lewisburg.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter, like the stair that only creaks when everyone else in the house is asleep. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call Davis Heating and Cooling at 931-388-2090 for all your home comfort needs. Davis Heating and Cooling is your local American Standard dealer and proudly serves the Murray County area. Find Davis Heating and Cooling online and on Facebook or call today, 388-2090.
For 40 years, Beck Dental Care has been the personalized and comfortable option for the health of your smile. The caring staff maintains a high level of safety protocols and attention to detail. Advanced technology provides your choice of sedation and the best of dental implant solutions to restore complete oral health. Open until 7 p.m. 2 nights a week. 931-388-8452. Beck Dental Care in Columbia, 1603 Rosewood Drive.
From the Blue Raiders to the two-tone blue, covering the teams you care about. It's only on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yow.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We are coming to you live from the Lee Company studio, 26 minutes past hour number 2. taking you all the way home this evening on Tuesday, almost to Hump Day. That's exciting. On week 1 of high school football.
We probably should remind our listeners in Franklin County on 94.5
We
The
should.
Eagle that following our show today, Will Davis will have Sports Mix Live from 6
Sports
to
Mix
7.
Live.
So be sure and check that out.
If you're listening on 94.5 The Eagle, WZYX, Will Davis, Sports Mix Live, coming up right after this show every Tuesday and Thursday. So,
And it's Tuesday. We've established that.
we have very well established that today is Tuesday. Hey, before we get into the NFL, I just saw this and I thought it was interesting as we were talking about the Braves earlier. But Ozzie Albies, this is insane. Ranks first in the National League in extra base hits, second in total bases, second in RBIs with 83, and fifth in runs scored. It's almost as if there is an Atlanta Brave who deserves to be in the MVP talks, it's the guy to the right of Freddie Freeman.
Well, finally the Braves broadcast crew mentioned Austin Riley as an MVP candidate.
I think there are a lot of them out there.
And I tell
because
you,
there's not a clear front runner, there's a lot of them out there.
But I feel like, to your point, I feel like both Ozzie, particularly, folks, Braves fans, because we are pessimists, but there is a faction that doesn't like his strikeouts in the leadoff spot. But his overall numbers, as you just pointed out, both he and Riley, what they have done, over the past couple of months or more, it certainly puts him in position for that type of consideration, I would think. And, Freddie does it so quietly, for one thing, that, I mean, it's just as they say in sports, steady Eddie, he I don't know. I would feel like both those guys are more deserving of consideration for MVP than, the reigning MVP as of this moment. But we're still in the middle of August, and by the time it gets over with, I would imagine Freeman will be right there as well.
There you go. As we get into the football season, want to let you guys know kind of how things are going to work. This week,
you know how things are going to work.
This week, notwithstanding, more so next week, this is kind of how it will go. We're going to talk a lot of high school football almost exclusively on Thursday. All right, so on Thursdays, you're going to get pretty much high school football coverage in southern Middle Tennessee, even expanding into our radio listening area, obviously Franklin County, and we'll go west and northwest up to Dixon and that area. We're going to talk a lot about high school football on Thursdays. You're going to hear that. We'll have guests on, we'll have coaches on, that sort of thing. I want you guys to be prepared for that. If you are looking for, we will try to talk Braves as we normally do, but it may be a shorter segment than normal. On Fridays, specifically starting next week, we will talk almost exclusively college football and pro football as we prepare for the Saturday and Sunday games that continue, or that will start, obviously, after our Friday show. On Friday nights after our show ends, there will be a 49-minute high school football preview show starting this week. So you will hear about the big four games in each grand division of the state. We will talk about 12 major games going on across the state, and we will hopefully be able to talk to some coaches as well on that show and other sports writers from across the state. That will air from 6 to about 6:50 on Friday nights right here on WKOM and ZYX. And then it will take you right to the stadium on Friday nights. So with pre-games starting about 10 minutes before kickoff on both stations. So that's kind of how things are going to go. We want you to be prepared for that. Mondays, we're just going to react. You know, what happened on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? It's going to be 2 hours of just reactions to all sports. I mean, just like we've been doing. We've been reacting to what happened over the weekend in sports for a while. Our NASCAR segment moves to Wednesday starting this week. So if you're looking forward to T. Willie each and every week, you can hear him on the final segment at 5:45 on Wednesdays. All right. Now we did some housekeeping. Talk a little bit about some of these players that have been released as of today. Obviously, on top of that list is Jacksonville tight end Tim Tebow.
Tebow wasn't the only tight end, but we'll get back to that in just a second because the Titans put 4 guys in the street, a couple of defensive backs, Maurice Smith and Reggie Floyd, along with tight end Deion Yelder and a special teamer, James Smith. So apparently everyone had to be at 85 players on their roster by 3 o'clock Central Time today. So those were the 4 cuts that the Titans made to get there. But in terms of visibility, I guess, Tim Tebow is obviously the biggest cut of the day. And we talked a little bit about his block. Was it the Bengals that they were playing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah. I think this was expected to be the way this would play out from the moment he signed with the Jaguars. I don't know that it was necessarily expected to take place this early, but and did you really think that Tim Tebow was going to go into the regular season as a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars 53-man roster?
Yes, I did. I told you why. I really thought that this was a ploy to get him his pension and be done, and then they could cut him.
And you know, I never thought about that.
He was only like 5 games short.
That makes sense
because it's his buddy
on a
right?
level, yeah. Because Urban Meyer doing his dude a solid, but. So if that was the case, or if that was the thought process, I wonder what changed. Which makes me think maybe that wasn't the thought process.
It probably wasn't. And that was just my opinion on it.
Yeah, and again, it's a theory.
You know me.
Yeah, Captain Chaos.
One name that kind of surprises me as this player made the postseason roster for Tampa Bay last year as a wide receiver, Josh Pearson. Pearson, the Jacksonville State graduate and record holder for most consecutive games with a reception for the Gamecocks. He was let go along with Cameron Kinley and Daquan Hampton from the Bucks. Interesting name here, which I'm very surprised, especially considering his injury status, is Kerryon Johnson was released today and didn't really expect him to be part of any release because of his injury status. I figured, you can put him on the IL, whatever, but they went ahead and released him, so is what it is. After last year and the injury he sustained, and I don't know that you're going to see Kerryon Johnson back in the NFL, and that's unfortunate because I thought he had a lot of upside as a running back in the league, but injuries will be the death of many.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Minnesota cut wide receiver Blake Prohl, and if that name means anything to you, it's because his dad is former NFL receiver Ricky Prohl, who played, I think, for the Panthers, among others. Let's see. No Panthers. Just yeah. He finished up with. Well, he played 3 of his final 4 seasons in Carolina. Finished up with the Colts. Played with the Phoenix/Arizona Cardinals, the Seahawks, Bears, and Cardinals again. No, sorry, Rams. So he would have been on that Rams Super Bowl championship team, along with Isaiah Bruce and
Torrey Holt.
Yeah,
Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Torrey Holt from NC State. I knew the school. I couldn't come up with the name, but yeah, he was the third receiver on that team. So.
Justin Hardy released by the Chicago Bears. I know that it's like Justin Hardy. Where have I heard that name before? He played for the Falcons for a good minute. So apparently he was not among those to make the cuts for the Bears. If you're struggling to make the Bears roster as a wide receiver, might be in trouble. That's all I'm saying. Other names of note. Let's see here. I had one that was pretty interesting. Was as I'm looking at the NFL cuts tracker, is Lamar Miller, former running back for
the Texans.
Right? Yeah, he was cut by Washington. Kelvin Harmon, wide receiver, cut by Washington. And I guess Marvin Hall, who spent a lot of time with the Detroit Lions and caught a ton of touchdowns for those Lions. 18 over his career. He was cut by the Patriots, and that's another one if you're struggling to make the Patriots roster.
Couple of guys cut by the Raiders with some somewhat local ties, I guess. Bo Scarborough, who played at Alabama, was cut, and ex-Vanderbilt receiver Caleb Scott, both cut by the Raiders today.
Yeah, Scarborough, man, coming out of high school, dude was just he was exactly what a lot of people. Well, he is the person they expected to become what Derrick Henry became. And he never really lived up to that expectation, unfortunately. But also Derrick Henry did at the same time. So, therein lies the rub.
Yeah.
Other of note, Alfred Morris. About time for Alfred Morris to finally find his way out of the league. I think 2012 draftee, but running backs just don't have long shelf lives.
Well, and to his credit, he probably, as running backs go, got a little bit more mileage than you would have expected.
Yeah.
As a 2012 draftee.
So, it is what it is.
Former Tennessee and Georgia tight end Eli Wolf cut by the Ravens today.
Man, the draft or the cuts are tough to go through because that there's just so many really good players out there, and you just go, wow, how can you cut this guy or whatever? Sometimes it has to do with a lot of things that aren't necessarily ability related, injuries, salary caps, a guy who maybe commands more from like an Alfred Morris who commands more from the veteran status and whatnot. So it's tough, and see if those guys land anywhere. We'll let you know if they do. All right, JP, it's time for Top 5 Tuesday. So we're going to tell you our top 5 pizzas on the other side of the break. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to go, so stick around because we're just going to make it up as it happens. So Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Right back after this.
One-stop shopping. That's why so many people shop Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat of Columbia. As the #1 volume CDJR dealer in Tennessee, we offer the largest selection of new Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler vehicles. And when you have the largest selection of new, you have the largest selection of used, too. Combine that with state-of-the-art, fast, accurate service, and you've got Tennessee's #1 volume dealer. Shop online at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Columbia.net. Middle Tennessee's Ram Truck and Jeep headquarters. You can count on us. Based on combined retail and fleet sales as awarded by Chrysler in the state of Tennessee in 2019.
Hello, I'm Barbara Lincoln with Holland's Pharmacy. You may have heard our previous commercials about compression hosiery that we carry at Holland's Pharmacy. Well, we've recently expanded into a full line of knee braces, back, wrist, ankle, and other support wear. We will gladly help you get just the right fit for these items and, of course, special order items to ensure the proper fit. Come see us at Holland's Pharmacy, 1608 Hatcher Lane, or call us at 931-388-4233. 388-4233.
If you come to Arby's from 2 to 5 p.m., you can get sliders for $1. For another $1, you can get a small drink or fries or a snack shake. And for the low price of another $1, you can round out this afternoon snack with warm cookies. It's really a meal at this point, but call it a snack. That way, you can come back for dinner. Arby's, we have the meat.
Dollar price valid for small fries and drinks, snack shakes, and classic sliders. Available at participating locations for a limited time.
Hey folks, this is Chandler Anderson from the Right Care Clinic located in front of Walmart. We've been open 11 years there now, and 11 seems to be our magic number. We open at 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and we're open 7 days a week to make sure that you get the right care you need. Come on by and see Caitlin, Kim, and Robert, and they'll get you the right care. Remember, we were there for you during COVID. We never shut our doors. Right Care Walk-In Clinic located in front of Walmart, open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week. Remember, folks, we stay late so you don't wait.
Serving Murray County for 40 years, the Jewelers Bench has provided the highest quality jewelry at the very best prices. They work hard to make their customers happy, and it's paid off. Their customers keep going back. Quality jewelry, custom vintage and estate pieces, and professional jewelry and watch repairs. We offer jewelry loans up to $4,500, and we will buy your gold. The Jewelers Bench, still here, still the same. 808 Trotwood Avenue, Columbia.
Terrence here at Shepherd Lumberyard, where we value you, the customer. We've been serving Columbia and surrounding areas since 1946. We're located in our new location at 103 Cemetery Avenue. Anything that has to do with building or remodeling, we're here to assist. When you shop local, you help shape the community. We are locally owned, family owned, and veteran owned. And by the way, God is in charge. You can reach us at 931-388-3612, and our website is shepherdlumberyard@yahoo.com.
Hey, this is Derek Ransom with 10 Pin Alley, voted #1 family entertainment center in Murray County. We offer 32 bowling lanes, giant arcade, laser tag, bumper cars, and a full cafe and bar menu. We also specialize in group events, kids and adult birthday parties, company parties, sports team parties, and holiday parties. We're located at 322 East James Campbell Boulevard in Columbia. Call us today at 931-381-BOWL or visit us at 10pin.com. 10 Pin Alley, it's where the good times roll.
At CSH, we know the sport of football builds discipline, character, and work ethic, 3 common characteristics of winners. It's a sport where we drowns out me. Leadership is nurtured, and that's why CSH supports all Murray County football teams, and want to say a special thanks and good luck to every player, coach, volunteer, and parent of this year's teams, from youth programs, middle schools, and high schools. We know football builds men that make a difference. Let's go.
Lists are for suckers. Oh, did I leave my mic on? It's Top 5 Tuesday on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Here's Chris and Matt.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coming to you live from the Lee Company studio, 1/4 hour away from the end of today's show. Glad to have you with us as we get ready to count down our top 5 favorite pizza whether it be a pizza joint or a pizza style or a specific flavor of pizza from a pizza joint. I don't know. Whatever it is. Because I have one. I have like some of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have one that's just like, I don't care what it is. This particular place makes great pizza. So I think that's, kind of part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, what have you guys come up with? You got 5. You got any honorable mentions?
Surely there are no honorable. Well, JP, because of his travels, probably does have.
Let's first tell you that it's brought to you by our friends at Mid-South 5 Fitness.
Yes.
2 great locations, one in Columbia, one in Franklin. Dallas Steele and all of his fine folks. SteelAthletes.com. That's STEEL. Athletes.com. Check it out. Now, JP.
No honorable mentions.
I don't believe you.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Well, a couple of different ways that I do these lists. And sometimes, like the sports broadcasters, I had like 15 on my list that I actually wrote down to try to pare down. That was difficult. This is equally difficult to get up to 5 sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so once I got the 5th one, I'm like, okay, I'm happy. I actually had 6. So I guess I could go with an honorable mention.
You might as well.
It's on Detroit deep dish pizza.
Just any that style.
Yeah, Jet's Pizza is a regular one that serves that style, that kind of rectangle, thick crust. Yeah, that's Detroit style. I didn't realize Detroit had its own style until like a few years ago.
Here is one of my controversial food takes. Deep dish pizza is just lasagna.
Oh.
I'm just saying. It's lasagna on crust. And I'm just
And what's wrong with that, though?
I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I'm just saying. Anyway.
Okay, well is it still a pizza? I guess maybe it's on a crust. We had this conversation, is a hot dog a sandwich? It's between 2 pieces of bread, but is it a sandwich?
It's one piece of bread.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's almost like a hoagie.
Is a hamburger a sandwich?
No, it's a hamburger.
Okay. But it's between 2 pieces of bread. 2, yeah.
Yeah.
So your point about this,
hamburger
lasagna
sandwich.
on a piece of crust, is it a pizza?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it is what it is. So it's funny that we're doing pizzas after the story I told you today. That Sarah wanted to have chicken Alfredo for dinner on.
Okay.
So Sunday she says, "Hey, go to the store and get the stuff for chicken Alfredo." I come back with chicken Alfredo stuff, pizzas, and tortellini.
Tortellini.
So
Nice.
apparently I wanted to eat Italian all week. I don't know, but anyway, apparently
Yep.
this is just part of it.
Yep.
Go ahead and give us your number 5.
Me?
Yep.
All right. Probably my favorite takeout or delivery, I guess, Marco's Pizza. I'm a big fan of Marco's. I tell you, their cheesesteak sub is fantastic as well. And they've got these thing called pizza bowls. I haven't tried yet.
You know what's crazy? So I had the Marco's Pizza cheesesteak sub Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
I was not impressed.
You weren't impressed?
No.
like
Have you had the
Marco's.
cheesesteak at Jersey Mike's?
I have.
Fantastic.
Yep. It's good, too.
Jersey Mike's is solid sandwiches.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Anyway.
I digress. My number 5, Old Chicago. And I probably need to throw a caveat in. I'm not a big deep dish guy because I don't like my...
Because you don't like lasagna?
No, I don't mind lasagna. I don't mind lasagna on crust even. I just don't necessarily like my ingredients falling off. I'm very conscious about making a mess of myself.
Okay.
And it's not like tacos where you can just eat it over another shell and have a second taco.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When you run out of crust, you run out of pizza.
It's done. So.
Yeah. Then you're just eating ingredients. But yeah, Old Chicago is my number 5.
My number 5 is, and you guys are going to give me crap for this, but it got me through college, and I know you guys have had it. Hungry Howie's. $5 for a large pizza when I was in college for just a pepperoni and garlic crust. Yes, please.
You know what? That's sneaky good.
It really is.
Especially at
at
maybe that time of night.
That time and that level, yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I'm not going to give you grief about anything.
It's
So,
good. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's good for what it is.
Mhm.
You just have to
Sure.
know what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and to drop back to your comment from a second ago, Marco's Pizza.
Yeah.
I do like
The pizza, yeah.
it's good.
I just wasn't into the
Yeah.
cheesesteak sub.
Number 4.
Number 4, I'm going to a place. I think this is a chain, but I know they had it in Charlotte, North Carolina. I remember because it was right across the street from the arena where the Bobcats played, so it would be a late night eatery. Tons of different beer on tap, but great pizza and brick oven, and called Bricks, Brixx.
There's one in Coolsburg.
Okay,
Yeah.
I knew there was a chain, but anyway.
And probably should be on my list.
Yeah,
It's really good.
That particular pizza there that I was extremely fond of, the Quattro mushroom with arugula.
They have like a 5-cheese pizza as
Mhm.
well that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Like I said, probably should have been on my list,
Yeah.
but haven't been in a while. My number 4, and it's a chain as well. Walmart Market Side Extreme Bacon Pizza.
Wow.
You know what? The Walmart pizzas are, again, sneaky good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
and you can get the extra large for like $11.
Yep.
You can't beat that.
Value
So-
goes
Yeah,
goes
it
a long
does.
way.
It
Well,
does.
and value and quality
Yeah.
goes even farther.
Exactly.
Yeah, so,
All right.
all right.
There you go. Unexpected on that one. Well done, Mo.
Number 4 for me is Desano. Any flavor, doesn't matter. I can't pronounce any of their pizzas. I just point and say, this is the one I want. Because they're all... I can't pronounce any of them. I just say, I like this one. Let's
This
go
one.
with this.
Give me that.
But Desano is really good. They've got one that's got like artichokes on it and mushrooms and all kind of great stuff. It's delicious.
All right. I did need to add
An honorable
an honorable mention. Papa Murphy's Take and Bake, by the way.
Never had Papa Murphy's.
I've never
Yeah.
had Papa Murphy's.
Never. Because I don't understand it.
It's fresh. It's as fresh as it possibly could be because you cook it at home.
Well, I mean, what don't you understand? I mean, it's
Yeah.
I don't understand how this is a business. How you can give me something that's uncooked and not frozen. I don't understand. Like how do you
fresh.
make? I get it,
It's fresh.
but it's just
good.
weird.
All right, my number 3. This is a homemade pizza that my wife makes. It's peach season, right?
Okay.
peach. Okay.
Peach and prosciutto with a balsamic glaze topped with arugula. Yeah.
That sounds
Wow.
delicious.
Yes.
That's interesting.
So
I'm not a peach fan.
So next time Soup says, when you come into JP's, we're gonna say next time Jody makes that pizza.
There you go. All right.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Number 3.
Number 3. My number 3 is Jets.
Okay.
I'm a meats guy, and they have. Is it the Mighty Meaty? Maybe.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And the rectangle crust. That's my one exception to the deep dish. Really,
Okay.
they do a good job with that.
Yeah.
My number 3 is the only pizza I've ever had in Chicago, and it's a Pequod's Pizza in Lincoln Park.
Okay.
Super cheap and really good. So
Again, value and quality.
value and quality, really good pizza for a really good price. I had it on that senior trip with my buddies that we went to ballparks across the country. So anyway,
All right. Down to number 2. I'm going to go to Chicago as well, and you can actually order this, and they'll ship it to you.
oh, I know exactly where you're going, and it's good.
Illuminati's.
I've had it, and I forgot about it. But you're right; they will ship it to you, and it is delicious.
Fantastic deep dish. It's deep dish is my favorite style of pizza. Chicago style deep dish, my favorite.
It's interesting because
Yep.
I'm not a huge fan either. But Red Baron, I lived on that stuff growing up.
It's my number 2.
Numero dos.
The local. DB's.
Okay. That is good pizza.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, you do. DB's.
Oh, DB's.
Yeah,
Okay.
DB's. Yeah.
And you're not even going pizza place if you're going local.
That was number 2.
Oh. My bad.
We're not done yet.
My bad.
Spoiler alert over
I
there.
too am going local in my number 2 because Viking pizza with the wood fire, Dragon Fire Pizza. It's got like a spicy sauce, but also it's got some jalapeno on there. But it's not.
Check.
It's really good.
Yep.
And Viking Pizza just does a good job in general. Everything they have there is really good, but the Dragon Fire is my personal favorite. But go see Viking Pizza out in Spring Hill because it's just fantastic.
All right. Ready for number one?
Here we go.
I'm going to take you all the way down to the Delta, the Mississippi Delta. A little town called Leland, Mississippi.
Leland,
Mississippi.
Okay, before you take me to Leland, you got to explain to me why you were in Leland.
My wife's mother is from Leland.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah. Go to the Delta at least once a year. So a lot of Italians.
In Leland,
in the Delta and Greenville area.
All those Italians we got in the French Purchase.
They
Louisiana Purchase from France.
So there's a lot. So there's several Italian restaurants. One in particular, Italian American, called Lillo's, and they have a pizza there, and you get just a homemade Italian sausage, cheese, and it's a light flaky crust. It comes up on the edge, but it's light and flaky, and tons of cheese, but just
sounds like
homemade
Russian.
true Italian sausage.
I'm here for that.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Well,
I love the number ones we have to explain because I have one too.
My number one needs no explanation. It also needs no announcing.
Sorry.
Pizza place. I mean, it's typically
really
I have to
good.
go out of the way for it, but it's worth it. It's just the right combination of everything. It's not too much cheese. It's not too much tomato sauce, and it's just the right amount of meats. It's good stuff. I enjoy it every time I go down there.
All right. The Italians listening to this show are about to be really mad because my favorite pizza is Saul's Soul Pie out of Post Office Pies in Birmingham, Alabama. And here is how you make it. It is a red barbecue sauce base.
Okay.
With
I'm okay.
Saul's barbecue pork.
Okay.
Red onions.
Yeah.
Aged mozzarella.
You lost me on the onions, but go ahead.
Well, it works. The aged mozzarella on top, right? And then the swirl of Alabama white barbecue sauce.
Oh, hello.
Come on.
Hello.
It's so good. It's worth the trip to Birmingham.
Wow. What's the name of the place again?
It's Post Office Pies, and it's Saul's Soul Pie.
You know, I think barbecue on pizza is underrated.
I do too.
And barbecue sauce maybe, but chicken barbecue pizza, underrated.
I tell you what else is underrated on pizza is white sauce.
White sauce on anything.
Yes, the white sauce that
It can't be overrated in my opinion.
I mean, Red 7 does a great job, and I would put them as an honorable mention on my list.
Oh,
I
yes.
love Red 7 because you can get it so quick, and you get your own pie. It's
Yes. Thank you. Red 7
good.
has to go there on the list somewhere.
That's going to do it for today's show. We come back tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. You'll get 1 hour of us in Franklin County, but stick around tonight for Will Davis and Sports Mix Live on 94.5 The Eagle. Going to be a great show as we continue to get ready for high school football week 1. It's going to be fun. On WKOM 101.7 FM, WZUX 94.5, Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere else. For JP Plant, Mo Patton, I'm Chris Yow saying have a great day. Stay cool, Columbia.